Hiya, morning guys, Ivan here from Classroom Secrets, I hope you're well. I've just got a couple of quick activities, some practical activities to show you, linked to rounding numbers to the nearest whole number and to the nearest tenth. And they're quite easy to set up, they're kind of geared towards competitive element, so you've got that competitive element there, so children really take to that, and if they're playing a game, they're not really thinking they're learning really, so that's quite benefit really. So what I'll do, I'll quickly share my camera around. So all you'll need for this activity is literally just a pencil, some paper. I've created some digit cards, linked to 2 decimal places, literally just using pencil and paper. I've also created some digit cards from 0 to 9 using, again, pencil and paper. So quite easy stuff to find around your house, so easy to set up. And the first activity is race against the clock sort of thing. So you can play this by yourself, or you can play it in pairs or in groups. What you will need actually is a timer of any sort. So you can use a stopwatch, you can use a timer. I've just got myself an iPad here because it's just nice and easy to see my time there. But if you're struggling to find that, you can literally just go on Google, type in stopwatch timer, and it comes up there. So it's all free to use. So just have a quick go, have a look around. And let's have a look. If I get my timer back up, just because it's nice and big so I can see. My goal is to try to get through as many cards as I can. And again, it's adaptable. You can probably pick 10 cards, see how quick you are getting through 10 cards to round to the nearest whole number or to the nearest tenth. And if your child is struggling, I've just drawn myself a little place value chart, because these are really helpful, especially if you've seen some of the VTs that we do, the video tutorials. If they're struggling on where the number falls in the place value and which one to look at when they're rounding up or rounding down, you can literally just use that really quickly. And I've got, for example, 2.29. Because I've got my decimal there, I can quickly see my 2 is in my ones column, that's in my tenths column, and that's in my hundreds column. And again, really easy to see which number you need to look at to round up or round down. So again, you don't need that, but if your child's struggling on seeing which column it is, you've got that. So my first job is I'm going to pick 10 random cards of these 2 decimal numbers, 2 decimal places. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's 10. That's close enough to 10, that. So what I'm going to do now is just shuffle them really quickly so that I can't see them. Now, I've chosen to use pencil here because I have tried using felt tip to make it nice and bold. But what happens if you use felt tip and you look behind it, you can actually see the number behind it, and you get called for cheating and stuff. You don't want that. So I'm going to put that away. Use pencil instead. It's nice and faint, but you can still see the number clearly. Shuffle that along and place it down. So now that I've got my 10 cards shuffled, it's literally a race against the clock to see how quick you are at rounding the numbers to the nearest whole or tenths. So for this game, for example, I'm going to choose to round to my nearest whole number and just really quickly see how long it takes me to do that. So if I click on my timer, ready for my first card, and start. 4.38, 3 rounds down, so that's going to be 4. Next one, 6.21, rounds down, 6. 2.68, goes up, so that's going to be 3. 3.99, round up to 4. 8.0, so 0 rounds down, so we've got 8. Oh, pressure's on, look at this, I'm in front of the camera and everything. 6 goes up, so we've got 2 there. 2 goes down, so we've got 2. How many is that? 3, 6, 7. Ooh, bit speed up. 8.02, 8. 2.08, so that's going to round down to 2. And then last but not least, 5.5, that rounds to 6. Right, stop there, stop. 45 seconds. So it took me 45 seconds to round 10. Is that 10? 3, 6, 9. Yes, 10 numbers. So again, you can play this by yourself, play it again, see if you can beat your own time. But also, if you want to, you can play it with pairs. So for example, if I've got 20, I think I've got 20 cards. You can create more as well if you want to. So say you've got 3 players, create 30 cards. You've got 4 players, create 40 cards. Entirely up to you. So shuffle them all about, dish out 10 cards to each person, and then you don't need the timer then. It's literally just a case of racing to the finish, see who gets there first. And again, because it's that competitive element, children are really going to take to it, and they're really going to love it. I found that when I'm teaching, and when I was teaching, and we had this lesson where children created their own board games. They really took to it because they created it themselves. They wanted to share with other people and their friends and family, and they really and again, because they're playing the game, it's almost like they're not learning, which is brilliant. So that's just the first game. Now the second game I've got, all you really need is, again, pencil, paper, and digit cards, just cut from, again, scissors and paper. So the object of this game is that each player will start with 20. So let's have 20 as a starting number. So player 1's there, player 2's there. And I've got a range of digit cards between 0 to 9. Now I'm going to shuffle them all. So what I've done with these digit cards is create 3 sets from 0 to 9, because then you've got multiple. So you could, if for example, by random, you could draw a 0 and 2 5s. So you've got that element of surprise as well. So shuffle them again. And the idea is each player needs to draw 3 cards. And depending on those 3 cards, they need to create a number to 2 decimal places. And they need to round to the closest tenth or closest whole. And they need to subtract that from 20. And it's the person who gets closest to 0 at the end of 3 rounds wins the game. So to demonstrate that, I'll show you real quickly. I'm going to have player 1 draw a card. They've got a 5. Player 2 draws a 2. Player 1 draws a 6. Player 2 draws a, a 1. Player 1 draws a 9. Oops. Let's pull that to the bottom. And player 2 draws a 1. Oops. That's the issue playing loads of bits of paper. You might be better off using cards that are not as floaty. Right, so once you've drawn your cards, make sure that each player can see, so you don't get accused of cheating. Because you know what kids are like. They'll say, "Oh, you never draw that. You didn't draw that number. You made that up." So just have it visible so that children can see. And then it's entirely up to them what number they create. So, for example, because I'm subtracting from 20, and I want to get as close to 0 as I do, I'm going to place a 9 there to make it my biggest number, and place a 6 there. I suppose it doesn't matter because 5 or 6 will round it to the closest whole, which is 10. So I've created 9.65. This player, they've drawn some small digits, so the biggest number they can create is 2.11. So we're just going to leave that as is. And because I'm going to round this to the closest whole, that becomes 10. So in my first round, player 1, they subtract 10. So at the moment, they've got 10. Player 2, they've got 2.11. They can only subtract 2 because we're rounding down to the nearest whole. We're going to subtract 2. So they've got 18. So at the moment, player 1 is winning. So again, you just repeat that until you get to the end of 3 rounds. And the person who gets closest to 0, the target amount, wins the game. Again, you can play it with more than 2 people, play it with 3 or 4 people. You've got plenty of digit cards there to share between. But you can also, I suppose, play it by yourself, because you can just do, at the end of 3 rounds, see how close you get. If you get, for example, 2, play it again, see if you can get closer, get a 1, get a 0. You could also bring in the element of negative numbers into this, because I suppose if you've got, let's have a look. Yeah, because if you got, let's see, say we got to 10, say we got to 2, for example, and the last draw we've got 3.65. We're going to round that to 4, but then 2 subtract 4 will give you a negative 2. And if the second player ends on 1, for example, you've got that discussion whether, well, is negative 2 closer or is 1 closer? In this example, 1 would be closer, so player 2 will win. So again, really open activity, really adaptable. If your children are struggling rounding down, just literally use digits from 0 to 4. You're always going to round down. If you've got children who are struggling with rounding up, again, use your digits just from 5 to 9, because then they're just going to be rounding up all the time. So yeah, really, really cool activities, really practical activities. Right, so I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found that useful. And again, we've got plenty of other practical activities and ideas over at classroomsecrets.co.uk. So have a look. Try to beat my time. You probably will. But, have a go and let me know. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and hope to see you again soon. Bye.